Steamlord, written by The Psychopath. Chapter 8, Spinning Cogs. There was only silence in the room as Steamlord and his bodyguard just stood in the front door. Twilight herself was still shocked by how casually that creature entered her house.
Twilight, what is that thing with?
Rarity suddenly noticed the clothes the man was wearing and started to tug smugly.
Such a horrid taste in style.
"What? Take the pony away!" said Steamlord in a bad Dutch accent.
What are you talking about? Your taste is terrible. Rarity, I don't...
Are you kidding me? This was the best fashion statement of the year where I come from.
Ha! Then no one has a good sense in style.
Steamlord leaned closer to the white unicorn, causing Spike to react to the darkening of the area and jumping immediately against Rarity. Perhaps 50 years where no one is able to do anything, seeing as they are all dead, could give a cause for the stalling change of style, Steamlord said with a smile. The way he said it gave a cold feeling of death throughout the library. Thankfully for everyone, Sunrise appeared right behind Teutonic after sliding away slightly. The sight of her beautiful scales and her strange tech formed from the equally bright green scales caught the attention of the three standing in front of Steamlord.
Hey Sunrise, are you feeling better now?
Sunrise didn't talk, causing Twilight to start to feel bad.
What is that magnificent little dragon over there?
Her name is Sunrise. She's an orphan now.
How horrible! But then, where did she get that jewel, that splendid, shiny gem?
Hospitaller carved it, Steamlord said while pointing at the black and white giant next to him. Sunrise looked at her gem, then up at the robot, and felt great happiness as her eyes started to sparkle. She jumped out from behind the legs of Teutonic and hugged Hospitaller as hard as she could. The eyes of the being slid slowly towards the baby dragon on his leg. Twilight didn't like these three beings and felt horror in the ways they looked at everything, especially the one called Teutonic. The one had no eyes, so it felt like looking into sockets was like staring into an empty pit into which your soul will be sucked into, but the way Hospitaller lowered its arms suggested no aggressiveness whatsoever, but Rarity didn't feel the same. Spike tried to help her save the baby dragon, but the other two seemingly just appeared in front of the two, their arms crossed. The robot finally grabbed Sunrise, then raised her slowly to make eye-to-eye contact. Twilight felt unease as the way Steamlord was just looking around, not caring.
Steam? Is that a good idea to let your bodyguards do that sort of thing?
Would you look at that? Hospitaller was holding the yellow dragon in its arms and Sunrise looked quite happy. Being a robot, its arms felt no fatigue, so it would certainly be carrying the dragon for a long time. Rarity suddenly felt tired of these bizarre creatures and the way they were acting. She just needed some answers.
Okay, Twilight, tell me what these things are. I need to know.
They're the ones that knocked me and Twilight out, hissed Spike. The three robots turned their heads and looked creepily at Spike, who felt himself shrink suddenly.
Is this true, Twilight? Yes, but...
Rarity ran at Steamlord and pushed against him.
You would hit a lady, and you would steal from one, then I suppose a ruffian such as yourself wouldn't mind if I rough him up a bit myself.
Steamlord lowered himself to eye level. Isn't that adorable? A fashion pony who thinks she can hurt me. Ha! Now then, what was I here for? Ah yes, Twilight, I came here with Sunrise to see if you could help her.
What made you think I could help? She's obviously being well cared for.
Thank you for that compliment, but I don't think being stuck in a building will help her in her development. Especially when she starts to get bigger. We don't, grow bigger with age, stuttered Spike. What do you mean? You need a ritual or something?
Actually, dragons grow bigger the more their greed increases. We had to deal with a little incident a while back,
replied Twilight. That's preposterous. That defies all laws of physical development and evolution.
I don't know what you're accustomed to, but that's how it works here.
I can see that, Steamlord said tiredly. The man looked back at the white unicorn, who, despite his best attempts to resist, looked too adorable to not stare at. He just wanted to grab her and squeeze her between his arms, but he wasn't like that. Instead, he asked her name in his fashion. "So, white unicorn, what's your name?" Rarity huffed.
At least you have enough politeness to ask my name first.
"Hey, I've been alone for 50 years. I think it's a bit normal that my politeness has been slipping."
That's still not... Did you say alone for 50 years?
Yup.
My word. But what about those three? They've just joined you?
They're my creations, and they're devoid of vocal boxes. I tried giving them one, but they never used it.
That's terrible. I know I would go crazy if I was alone for that long. By the way, you wanted to know my name?
Yes,
It's Rarity,
said the mare as she acted like she was spreading the sides of a dress. This amused the man, who smiled a bit and lifted an eyebrow.
What is yours?
"Oh, I can't speak of my real name, but you can call me Steamlord," he said as he bowed down.
That sounds egocentric.
"So I've been told." A moment of silence flew through the room until Steamlord broke it once more. "So, Twilight, I believe that, seeing as you know a bit about dragons, and seeing as Spike is one, then Sunrise should feel perfect here for the day."
You're dropping her off?
"No, I rescued her. It's my responsibility to see that she's well taken care of, and bring her to social interaction is the best way to do it. And seeing as she already knows you, you were the perfect choice. You can put her back on the floor now if you like, Hospitaller." The sounds of cogs spinning filled the library with yet another new sound that it wasn't accustomed to. The sounds coming from the robot scared the two mares and the purple dragon. It quickly stopped, and Sunrise found herself lowering down to the floor. Back on the ground, where she felt infinitely smaller, Hospitaller patted her twice on the head and stood back up. Twilight was curious about those three robots.
Steamlord?
She said. "Yes."
I thought you said your bodyguards were built by you.
"Yes, I did." "What? No. You won't get their blueprints. No way!" Twilight was thrown aback by this sudden rise of aggressiveness.
No, I didn't mean that. You said that you built them, but then why do they seem to, how to put it?
Have emotions and personalities?
Yes?
That's a special thing. We say that I made their programming to grant them semi-sentience. They aren't completely alive, but they still have a mind of their own, and that's why they're my favorite robotic creations. Well, not the main reason. Spike walked closer to Sunrise and put his hand out. "My name's Spike. What's yours?" Sunrise hesitated and didn't really want to talk, but the existence of another dragon about her age let her feel some comfort.
Well, I didn't really have a name, but he gave me one. I'm Sunrise.
"Wow, that's an awesome name, and your jewel looks cool."
Thanks.
"Spike, you didn't hear me call her name earlier?" I didn't hear." "Uh-huh." Steamlord grew tired of this situation. "Can we start with how we're going to cheer her up? She did go through some hard times."
Well, if she needs some fresh air, then we can go to the Apple family farm. An apple farm, eh? I love apples. Perhaps...
Steamlord looked at Sunrise in curiosity as she looked back in confusion. "Twilight, are dragons capable of eating foods other than jewels?"
Yes, they can. It's just not the best thing for their diet.
"Then we'll be going to the farm. Oh, just you wait till you taste cinnamon apple pie, or a candied apple, or even a caramel-covered apple, Sunrise. Apples tend to have the best desserts. Knights, wait for us outside, please." A beat to the chest, and the robots were already outside.
Are you coming with us, Rarity? No, I have work to do, and I can't get that awful dirt all over my delicate hooves.
Steamlord gave her a bemused face.
Have fun at the farm, Sunrise.
"Bye, Rarity," blabbered Spike. Shall we go then?"
I'm not sure how the other ponies will react to seeing you and your creations.
"Who cares? I certainly don't. I haven't had apples for 43 years. I'm not giving up this chance."
Okay, but promise me you won't attack anyone.
What's with the sudden fear of aggression? The ones you should say that are to my bodyguards. I've already issued a non-lethal defensive protocols regarding your species when I'm attacked, so they'll attack anyone aggressive to me anyways.
Can't they tell the difference between true aggressiveness and friendly aggressiveness?
Steamlord sighed in irritation at these questions. Twilight really didn't want him to get out. They have minds of their own, so they can easily tell the difference between both. Now let's go! Sunrise needs fresh air!
Fine, I'll lead the way.
Of course, I don't know the location of the farm.
Spike, are you coming?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. The little purple dragon quickly followed this increased group even if he decided to stay near Twilight. He didn't trust this creature or his creations one bit and would be sure to keep a close eye on them. However, he could trust Sunrise as she was another dragon who had obviously been through a lot. As Steamlord and his bodyguards walked through the town, every pony stepped away from Twilight as they stared at those following her. It was interesting to see that there were people who actually feared him rather than laughed directly in his face. Steamlord felt a sense of satisfaction, but ultimately he didn't like being feared. The little purple dragon whispering in Twilight's ears after jumping on her back unnerved the man. He didn't feel a great deal of comfort in this world, but perhaps he just needed to get used to it. Finally reaching the farm, Steamlord ran forward to see something he hadn't seen for a long time. A massive orchard of rich, healthy trees stretching as far as the eye could see. Sunrise was equally pleased to see all that after being in the cave for so long. She was pleased to see all this verboyant green compared to the mucky swamp colors that were abundant in both the cave and the forest. Taking a deep intake of fresh air, Steamlord was satisfied. He was too used to ignoring everything nature had to offer in this strange new world, but he was pleased. His robot seemed as indifferent as usual. Look at this, Sunrise. It's the painting offered to us by Mother Nature. Her paintings can only be seen once, so admire it and put it in your memory so that you manage to have something colorful to remember every night you go to sleep. The end of his sentence was filled with a depressive tone, and Sunrise felt some compassion and tried doing her best to give him some good feelings as he seemingly stared off into the ocean of green and brown. Her best way of doing so was giving his leg a hug. Thanks, Sunrise.
Hey, what are you doing here? Skedaddle, you bucking monsters!
Yelled a deep country voice. On the horizon, a bulky red stallion started to charge at Steamlord and his bodyguards while paying no attention to Sunrise. The little yellow dragon hung on to Steamlord's leg a bit harder, causing her claws to pass through the thin fabric and scrape the man's leg. He cringed at this sensation, but still ignored the incoming red missile. This stallion, as soon as he was 5 millimeters away from Steamlord, found his head dug deep into the dirt by 2 cold hands. This action threw a bit of dirt into the air, as the stallion's efforts to get out of this hold were pointless. As soon as Twilight arrived, her concerns came to fruition. Galloping as fast as she could, she tried to tell Big Mag that the creatures weren't a danger, and even tried to tell Hospitaller and Templar off as they held the pony's head firmly in the dirt. Unfortunately, Applejack had arrived with a basket of apples on her back. She quickly dropped it and ran to her big brother while threatening the creatures. However, she was also a victim to the speeds of the bodyguards and found herself at the tip of a blade at point-blank range from her throat. She had no choice but to stand down. Twilight quickly managed to interject herself and yelled loudly.
Wait! They're with me! Steam, let them go!
You heard her, Knights. The robots released more steam and returned next to their creator. Big Mag was helped up by Applejack and Spike. Applejack needed to yell herself out.
Why, what are those things, and why are they attacking us?
We didn't attack you. The red pony there charged us aggressively. We simply defended ourselves. We mean no harm. We just wanted some apples, but I guess we won't have any. Steamlord said sadly as he lowered his head and started to walk away with his hands in his jacket pockets. Sunrise looked back and forth at the pony and guardian in panic. She wanted to complain about the situation but didn't know what to do, so she looed at the orange cow pony with big sad eyes and walked away. Applejack didn't notice the little dragon and asked information from Twilight. A few seconds of slow walking later and Applejack said,
Alright then, y'all can have some of our apples. They also wanted some apple pie. Really? Well, I suppose I could have Granny Smith bake out one of her special pies. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
said the little dragon. Steamlord and Twilight were surprised that she was so polite, especially as she grew up with dragons. They weren't exactly known for their kindness.
Oh shucks, don't mention it. And how about you? My name's Applejack,
said the country pony after grabbing Steamlord's left hand and shaking it violently. The man formed a grin on his face as he held the orange mare's hoof tightly.
Applejack, I don't think you should shake.
Crunch!
Ah!
It's a pleasure to meet you too. Applejack pulled her hoof out of the creature's clutches and shook her own hoof to get the blood circulating again.
Wow, you sure have a tight grip. Never seen anything like it.
That's because this arm is special, Steamlord said with mockery.
I can see that. So, you want to taste the apple family's apple pie?
If possible. I haven't had any apples for 43 years. I believe being able to taste my favorite fruit again will bring pleasure to my taste buds.
Your favorite fruit? I think we'll get along just fine. I'm not sure about Big Mac or your other friends, though.
Bah! Don't worry about it. To the pie!
If you say so, I'll present you to the family once we're inside.
Well, this story is shaping up to be a good one. Hiya guys, I finally got a new mic. I don't know how good it is, but hey, that's what the comments are for. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you all in the next chapter, you yucks. Bye!